So sewing rooms, if you're like me, you are always looking for inspiration on how to make your sewing room more creative and practical and maybe a little bit magical, while at the same time keeping it from being messy and disorganized and a little overwhelming. So I am going to share with you my home sewing room today, and hopefully you can get a little inspiration for more of this and less of this. My name is Laura Kasowitz. I am the owner of Hartford Stitch, a sewing school for kids and adults. Our studio is located right outside Hartford, Connecticut, but we can also teach you online through our video workshops, Kids Learn to Sew at Home video e-course, and of course our YouTube tutorials. So thanks so much for joining me. Today is the last week of our 4-week sewing room series. We covered all the essentials for setting up your sewing space, how to store your small tools, my favorite ways for project storage, and here we are today for our sewing room tour. So at the end of this video, I'm going to give you the top 3 ways that I keep my sewing space clean and organized and ready for the next project. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and if you see anything during this video that you like, you find valuable, please give me a thumbs up. All right, so let's start talking about the space. I have sewn in every nook and cranny in my house, from a corner of a dining room, the middle of my kids' playroom, nearly every bedroom. And about 2 years ago, I decided the time had come to take over part of our attic. So we live in a 1924, I think, colonial, and it has a full 3rd floor walk-up attic. The previous owners, who owned it from 1944 until 2009, had partially finished it. So they had drywalled it and done most of the spackling. They had run up some electric, and they did put a dividing wall to split it into 2 rooms, and that's where it stopped, which was perfectly fine. I was just looking for some functional space to set up my sewing room and plug it in. So I started to clean out sections of the attic, and as I cleaned out more of this room, I took over more. And now here, 2 years later, it is primarily my sewing room, this space up here. But it was pretty much a dark cave-like hovel. And then after the holidays though, my husband said, look, you were up there a lot. Let's just put a bit of lipstick on the pig. Let's make it a little bit nicer. So we wanted to do something that was bright, that was clean, and functional. I thought that this was going to be just like a quick little fix and it would make it a little bit nicer, but I was blown away at how much a little paint, and by a little I mean 15 gallons, of paint could make a difference in a room. So let me show you the before and the after. Okay, so as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, it is my storage area. We have, I think, 5 of these shelves. They came from Home Depot. Most furniture you'll see here will be from Home Depot, IKEA, or found on the side of the road / hand-me-downs. So these shelves are great. The one drawback to them is that you can only use these kind of bins to them. You can't use the opaque, big, like 20-gallon tubs. So it took me a little while to learn that one, but so now we have all the right tubs. So this is where the majority of my storage is, out in the open, so I can see exactly what's in there. So I have big things like felt and linen and knit, fabric paint, elastic and Velcro, embroidery, and so on. So if it has kind of a category, it gets put in these bins and then it gets a label. So this is key to my organization here. All right, so arguably one of the best features of my sewing room is this big work table in the center. It's made up of 3 calyx cubes from IKEA, and I believe that those are the Dorma boxes right there. And then on top, I just have a 3-foot by 4-foot piece of plywood from Home Depot. Okay, so like I said, these fabric boxes are super great. So in the top, I have my project storage, and because you can't really label them, what I do is just write on a piece of muslin and safety pin it on. On the bottom, I have my Hartford Stitch projects. Over here on the left, I have mending, which I can pretty much assure you I don't look at nearly as much as I should. On this side, I have a box for large quilts in progress and my filming equipment. I can also store all of my papers, tracing papers, craft text, and my interfacing down below. So on this side, I have my essentials. So even though it says crafts on that box, it's actually where I keep my chocolate and my chapstick, essentials for sewing. I also keep needles, safety pins, and my small tool storage down there, so it's easy to grab when I'm at my sewing table. All right, so then over in the sewing area here, I have this big table. I can't remember the name of it. It's IKEA. I'll put it up there. and it's just got some basic legs. I love having a long table because I can keep all my sewing machines out at one time. So I used to just have one table and I would move them back and forth. But so I can have my cover stitch, my serger, and my regular sewing machine all out ready to go, so I can just kind of scoot back and forth between them. And with that, I highly recommend getting a chair that has a nice little hydraulic lift to it. So I will put this one below. It's IKEA. It's super comfy. I got the wrong base to the chair, so they don't actually go together. So I'm not going to put the base in there. My husband kind of he retrofitted it for me. But having these two so close together, so like I said, I can kind of spin back and forth between them, is super helpful. Okay, so this is part of that organization, and I went into this when we talked about the small tool storage, but I love my pegboard. I use it for all my thread. I have scissors, I have serger thread, I keep my rulers up there. I have little baskets that hold all sorts of things. So this has been really helpful in me having an organized sewing room. Above my sewing room, I love to have just little things that make me happy. We went with the old picture railing approach where you hook the strings above the molding, if you will, so it doesn't put any holes into the board itself. So I have everything from cards my friends have given me, art that my children have made me. This little piece is a fun round robin that my sewing friends and I did on a little sewing weekend we had. This chalk artwork was made by my best friend who owns Travers Hand Lettering. I have just all sorts of little things, and I can change them out really easily. All right, so then in this little corner, I have my ironing table, and this is actually a vintage sewing table that I found on the side of the road that opens up nice and big, and I have my ironing board on top of it. I plan on eventually just kind of making a tabletop for it so that the ironing board doesn't slip into the hole where the sewing machine is supposed to go. But it's the perfect size, and then I can have little storage underneath for sprays and press cloths and backup irons and all that kind of stuff. Then I have my filing cabinet, and this is full of patterns. So I like to store my patterns in manila envelopes, and then I can put them in here and organize them. Unfortunately, I've kind of outgrown this filing cabinet, so I need to find something new for it. And furniture-wise, I also have my love seat. So this vintage pink love seat was in my dad's house when I was younger, and has followed me through every single apartment I have ever owned. It is falling apart, it is stained, it is ripped, but I kind of love it. It is full of all sorts of kind of like crazy pillows and quilts. And my big joy poster or signboard that I made years ago, like 10 years ago, and it sat up in the attic, and when I was doing my clearing out, I thought, oh my God, it fits perfectly there. So I have some more storage over here, and these boxes are from Amazon. The shelf itself is from Home Depot like 8 years ago. And over on this side, I have a shelf that was a hand-me-down from a friend where I put a small part of my craft book collection. I have about 60 or 70 that I divide between this room, study that we have downstairs, and the Hartford Stitch studio. All right, so over here is where I have most of my woven fabric storage. So these are IKEA mound dressers, and if you've ever gotten an IKEA mound dresser before, you know that they seem like a great idea, and then within like a couple of years, the drawers don't shut or they start to fall apart. That's when they come upstairs to the sewing room. So I have all my quilting cotton in this one, and I have all my garment wovens in that one. I also have some fun things on top, like a vintage suitcase that was my husband's grandmother's, and this little beast right here, which was in our fireplace when we bought the house. It's a bunch of sticks that are nailed together with 2 red light bulbs that I assume if you plug in, it's supposed to look like fire, but we weren't about to test it. But it just seemed way too fun to throw away, so it now lives on top of my fabric storage. Over here in this little nook, this is kind of my kids area. And this little gate-like table that I absolutely love, I found on the side of the road, and it is a perfect height for kids sewing. Another fun element over here is my design wall. So I had this big empty white wall, and God forbid anything say big and empty for too long. So I took this old flannel sheet and I stapled it to the top and then stapled it to the bottom. And now I have something that I can lay out my quilts on while I'm working. Now I have this huge floor space now, so I can also use that, but it's great to kind of have something that you can leave up and then walk away. So these are all quilt squares right now that my quilt club put together, and I absolutely love it, so I'm trying to figure out what to do now. And then down here is where I have storage for all my big rolls of things. So I have vinyl and batting, and I have waxed canvas, and I have all sorts of things. I haven't quite figured out how else to store them except to lay them down here, but it is out of the way, so maybe we'll keep it here. So there you have it. That is my sewing room. I absolutely love it. It's not done. There are still a few things that we need to do, including some electric. Maybe someday there will be heat. I don't know. Right now I just have my little space heater. Like I promised, here are my top 3 tips for keeping a clean sewing room. Tip number 1, as you probably can tell, is I like to have a place for everything. Whether it is zippers or tape or extra bags, it has a home. Tip number 2 is that you label it. My mom would be so happy to hear me say that, but it's true. You may think you know what goes in that box when you're putting it together, but you may forget the next day, the next hour, or a week from then when you go to clean up. So make a label so you know exactly what goes where. And tip number 3 is sadly not some magic wand that will just organize and clean your sewing space for you. It's that you have to clean it up. And I know that's not really fun to think about, but that is the truth. It's a lot easier to clean up when you have places for everything to go. But whether you clean up every day, after every project, or like me, about once a week, it really does keep things in order. So thank you so much for joining me. If you liked what you saw, please give a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and you're gonna wanna turn on your notification because for our next 3 videos, I have collaborated with a local artisan who you may have heard of, even if you're not from this area, who makes an incredibly festive and colorful product. And we came up with some really fun projects that you're not gonna wanna miss. If you're looking for more about how to set up your sewing room, make sure to check out this video and that video. Thanks again, and happy stitching.